The golden ticket. This is the role of play in STEM careers, specifically here at Mezzacello. The golden ticket is a metaphor to begin with. This is Mezzacello. Go to mezzacello.org, learn all that. What is the golden ticket? You're familiar with Willy Wonka, yes, Jake? I hope most of our audience is familiar with Willy Wonka, and mostly familiar with Charlie, which is what I'm really talking about here. So Charlie and I, when I was young, I grew up very poor and alone. I had a lot of time to imagine things because I grew up in the Mojave Desert with no one around me. And I saw a lot of myself in Charlie. And so as I've grown and I had the opportunity to build Mezzacello, I decided that I was going to imagine myself as Willy Wonka and build Wonkaland. And I've been doing that through my work with sustainability for the last 3 years. So this is the farm. And this is why it is Wonkaland, because it's where I imagine we can change the world. And I actively do work to change the world. So these are 4 photos that I literally took this morning from my chicken coop. Boom, 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 boom. Looking out at all the experiments going on at Mezzacello. And if you're curious, like I said, just go to mezzacello.org. I have videos there, I have tutorials, I have everything. So what is the secret of tying play to careers in STEM or STEAM? It's this. It's a reframe. Reframe what we teach and learn and how we go about doing it. I cannot stress how important this is. When you reframe what it is you're actually trying to do, the results are astounding. Just like with Amaya earlier this evening, when you expect different things than what you're told you're going to get, it changes the equation. So for example, this is a SharkBot. It's a 4K camera that we submerge in our pond to monitor the health of the fish. This is the fish, and this is how we know how many new fish we're going to have in a season. Well, the kids refactored the SharkBot to think about the pond as if it was Coruscant in Star Wars, with all the lanes of traffic, because that's what the fish made them think of. So when they reframe that, these are 6+ careers that just came out of that one moment of thinking about how you're going to manage technology in a specific way. So reframing the problem is actually innovation, because we know what it is to fail. We allow children to fail, we expect it, but we don't allow kids to fail while learning. We don't like it. We need to reframe what they think they see, but mostly we need to reframe what we think they should see. Because by reframing mistakes, we create useful data. And that's the path forward, is data. So make mistakes better. The atmosphere was really hot here in Columbus, Ohio, in North America this day. So the kids put their feet in the water. And then it occurred to them, hey, how could we learn something from this? What could we do? So they put the SharkBot in and started sending telemetry from the pond to the bioengineering lab where I was earlier. And this is them looking at the fish, checking for disease using the SharkBot that was under their feet, that was filming them the entire time. That's relevance. And out of that, 6 careers emerged automatically, just thinking about that. So the STEM career piece is tied to kids seeing themselves in a new environment. Any career pathway requires 6 things: growth, failure, discomfort, practice, confidence, and fun. When you put those 2 things together, all those together, you get new ways of looking at the world, which is what we actually need more of. So what is the golden ticket? It's believing in and finding genius. It's creating a space where you can be the Wonka land. You can allow kids to come and choose their own adventure, be their own adventure. And that's what I've created here at Mezzacello. It's an opportunity for them to understand nature and the built environment, technology, and common sense and problem solving, all in one place with life. My whole point here is all of us, kids included, need to be the Charlie. There can't be one way of doing something. There can be more than one way of doing something, and we need to embrace that. Not all sizes work. Sometimes we have to be fearless. Right? I'll use any excuse to use this picture because I love this picture. I used it earlier this afternoon as well. We have to allow for curiosity, both good and bad, because when we do that, STEM careers just emerge. And this is 10 minutes of working with rabbits, using the internet to diagnose wet tail early, catching it, finding the cure for it, treating it, and just being present for an animal. And now I'm surrounded by 6 veterinarians and 1 pathologist who can use a microscope, who also happen to be 11. So find or start your own Wonka land and go. Just don't forget to include Charlie, because he's the kid that got overlooked. Everyone else was horrible. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Charlie's the one that made the mistakes and owned it with dignity. Any questions? That went a lot faster than I thought it would, but I'm kind of rushed because I have poor time management skills in Columbus, Ohio.
So I actually just wanted to say this is actually a really good idea, and I love how you based it off Willy Wonka, because that kind of inspires kids to do these kind of things. Because if you say we're doing research or we're going to be learning about something, it doesn't really include that fun or exploration or creativity, unless you say it's Willy Wonka, you're in Wonka land and you're like making discoveries. So I really like how you kind of included that in what you're doing. It's really cool.
So grateful to hear that. Thank you. I racked my brain for something that would connect with you. And I'm like, you cannot go wrong with chocolate. But really, Mezzacello is Wonka land. I'm the only Oompa Loompa, though. The kids are not Oompa Loompas. But you really do need to find a place to be who you are and find out who you are. We need more opportunities like that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's really true.
And we can't wait for someone to give us that opportunity. We need to be that opportunity. Pardon me. That's when I actually thought my presentation started. So my apologies. Do we have any other questions? And thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that. No? Okay.
Well, I would like to say I love your celebration of the mistakes and the failures. It reminds me of the story Rosie Revere, engineer, how they celebrate all their failures because that's where you learn from. And then like I see this is so purposeful. You have this intention of making it, you know, fun for them, but they are learning. Do you allow, like, I guess my question is, how are the interests developed? Is this something they come in and they say, oh, I want to learn about this? Are you guiding them? Is it child-led? Are you kind of looking at a problem? Hey, what do we need to solve? And then they go from there. And really, how much input are they having? So yeah, we'll just kind of go from there.
Pauline, how much time do we have? Use your hands.
Sorry, I was muted. 2 minutes, Jim.
Is I can answer that question for you. So Rebecca, the answer to my question is, I have 5 themes that I teach to, that my camps and workshops are based on themes. One of them is bioengineering, which is understanding simple machines. Well, that's it. The other one is biotechnology, which is understanding ecosystems, animals, and health, and how they all fit together and why it's important to pay attention to them. The third one is renewable energy, which is producing, using, and leveraging energy that is responsible and sustainable. The third one is all about water, water purification, water manufacturing, water simplification, and water collection. And then the fifth one, or the fourth one, is biotechnology, which is the processes around producing food, producing health, and compost. And the last one is biochemistry. The kids that show up are who show up. They are the Charlies. And it's the questions they bring depend on where we pivot. We reframe the problem. This is what I think the problem is. How are you going to do this problem? And we've gone from taking things apart to identify the 6 simple machines to looking at animals and humans and identifying how the 6 simple machines appear in bodies. So we've done it all, but it's reframing the problem. And so in biochemistry, it's really understanding the relationship between the ecosystem all the way down through the organism, organ, cell, substance, molecule, atom, subatomic particles, quantum particles, down into the force carriers, proton, electron, and energy, and how all those things interrelate with each other in what we're talking about right now. And from there, I can pivot from electricity to the way water works, to how chlorophyll works, to the way life synthesizes itself, how it creates itself, what procreation is, what death actually is, and the way the sun works. It's not a big jump when you understand the relationship between quantum effects in nature and understanding when you're hot and your body is trying to cool itself down, the sun is doing the same thing. It's just doing it a billion times at scale using quantum tunneling effects that you don't have access to, but you know what they are because the kids understand from the quantum level down that all they need to understand. That's the Wonka land. My Wonka land starts with atoms and ends with Adams, who are young men, but it incorporates everything. It's holistic in that way.
So I
That's
think,
awesome, Jim. Go ahead, Savi.
oh, okay. So I think it's really cool how you said like how you doing this in nature connects with stuff we're learning. You brought up protons, neutrons, electrons. I actually just started learning that in school. So I think it's really cool how you're showing like the connections between working in nature towards stuff we're actually learning in science. And I actually have your website put up now. I searched it up on the internet, and there's some really cool stuff here that I see. If there's enough time, may I know how you got inspired with this idea?
Yes, you may. Is there enough time, Colleen?
There's not. I'm so bummed, Sanvi. This is such a good discussion to have too. And as the host, I've got to adhere to the schedule. But Jim and Sanvi, I think you guys should connect because I think there's a wonderful discussion that's blooming here.
I would love that. Somfy, reach out to me on my website and I'll answer all those questions for you. And I'll do another Zoom or another gift and I'll be on time. I just had 2 of them tonight and I got thrown off. So my apologies, my dear, but I will answer your question.
It's okay.
Sure.
I'll connect with you.
Thank you.